Karen here,
And this is May.
and we are from Boomers to Gen Z. So, we're going to talk about something a little bit more female oriented and what generally what people think in Malaysia about abortion rights. So, don't go
Don't go
away.
away. Abortions. What
Abortion.
is your one sentence about abortions?
I one sentence.
Just one sentence,
One
like
sentence. It's my choice.
women have the right to choose.
Yeah, I think it's my choice. I think that women um, must be given that choice of what they want to do with their body and how they want to handle, because there's so many. The thing is, I am pro-life. I don't think that a fetus should be a baby or being pregnant should be taken lightly.
Mm.
I don't think that. I don't want that, because then people will keep having abortions and there's
Yeah, and then
no control.
irresponsible
Yeah,
sex
being
as well.
irresponsible. Yeah. So we are not saying that. I'm just saying that there should be some form of control whereby if I have been raped, or if I am just maybe even mentally or financially
Incapable.
unable to have or do that, to have a child and bring a child up. And let's face it, bringing up a kid in today's world is not easy. It's so expensive. And are we capable? I mean, obviously it's up to the individual, and whether we are have the finances to feed the baby, to bring up the baby to the best ability, or whether we if it's a rape case, or if it's a incest, do you really want to bring a child into this world where, as the
Probably.
mother, I might just hate the sight of the baby?
Yeah.
And what kind of life are you giving to that child, because he or she is being born with such hate and such negativity, in a sense, right? What is it for the child?
I agree with you, Karen. Like I think as I do support that women should have a right to abortions, and I also believe that women should have the right to know what is contraception.
Yeah.
I feel like these two conversations come hand in hand.
Mm.
I don't think we can stop people from having sexual relations at
Yeah, because it's human nature.
it's
It's
human, yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
is human nature. And like I mean, like rape cases, incest within families, it's actually so much more common than we think it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It's scary.
when
It's
I
scary.
speak to just like friends, they've all had issues with like uncles or like older cousins,
Mm.
and it's just so hard. And the thing is that a lot of the time you don't know, because when the kid grows up, a lot of the time they're not going to tell.
No, yeah.
And it starts from like very young sometimes, especially with like, also there's been cases of friends with their maids being
Oh,
touched by their maids as like kids.
oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh
so
no.
it's like, and I was very, very shocked about it, and I brought it up very casually, actually, because I was thinking of getting a full-time person at home with us, and I was sharing that this was my concern. And all of a sudden at this dinner table, people are saying, yeah, I know this person who did this, I know this person this, oh, you know what happened
Oh,
with me?
so you mean the maid abused the
the
child?
the mates like would like
Touch.
touch like male and female,
Okay. Yeah.
and then like tell the child like it's okay to do it to me.
Right. So it's actually grooming the
It's
child.
already grooming.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then obviously, like when these children then grow up, they probably like engage in whatever from a much younger age, because they've already been exposed to it. So it's like this whole cycle. Like the problem, it's like not a chicken or egg situation. I feel like contraception needs to be introduced. Safe touch needs to be introduced.
Yeah, the education of safe touching, when it is considered crossing the line
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah, for
Because
sure.
if you notice with kids, right, there's always this thing of like, let's say like if we were, this is just an example. Let's say if I were to bring my son out to meet his grandma, I'd be like, oh, go kiss grandma. But the thing is, like, why are we telling him to go and kiss grandma? He doesn't have to go kiss grandma. Like in my head, I have this thing with Zach that like if you do not want to like physically engage with someone, whoever they may be, you don't have to. You don't have to go and like give them a hug. Maybe like shake their hand or like But what I noticed with Zach is that he will pick and choose the ones that he likes. So
Right,
when it comes to grandma, he will run into her arms, jump on her. When
right.
it comes to other people who could be like from it could be like my mom's family members. He has never met these people.
Yeah,
He doesn't really know them.
yeah.
So why does he have to go and like sayang them? He
Right.
does
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
he
it has
doesn't
to.
know
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But it's like some parents would be like, oh go, you must go, this is da da da. But
Uh,
for Zach it's like, but yo, I don't know her, you know?
I think that's true because we also got to respect the child as to what he or she wants to do in a certain way.
Yeah.
Like you don't I agree where the the need to educate a child what is considered good touch and what is considered a bad touch is very, very crucial. Whether the child is a boy or girl, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because it there is, I mean, and a lot of cases have proven that a lot of these molestations and rape cases are always 99% due to family members or from a very close knit
Yeah.
community. So let's not even deny that because that is an actual
Yeah.
truth. So, as a parent, and so I want to ask you this: have you taught Zach what is considered good touch and
Yeah,
bad
so
touch?
it actually came from that whole conversation. So when those things happen of like, oh, go, like, other elders will be like, oh, come give me a kiss, and I'll be like, oh no, he doesn't really know you yet. So then that's when the conversation started. I was like, Baba, how come you didn't want to go? Mama, like, I don't know them. And I was like, okay, so it makes you feel uncomfortable, right, when you don't know someone. Which areas? And it goes from, okay, Zach, you've identified you have a boundary, which is
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm,
Now, what else feels uncomfortable? So
mm-hmm.
then he told me like, oh, like, I don't want anyone to see my toto, I don't want anyone to touch my bum bum,
Mm,
I want to close the door. If I meet someone for the first time, I'll give my hand. But I don't really like to hug people because everyone's so much bigger than me and it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
right,
So
right,
like little things, and I listened to him, and I
right,
was like, okay, fair, fair. So even like with my friends and stuff, like I make sure they don't go and like hug Zach unless he wants it, like
right,
unless he wants to snuggle with you. Don't, because you have to understand that like your what he knows that these are private areas of a woman and stuff.
right.
So when you are caressing him and pressing him towards you, he might be like,
He,
he might
he,
be
he
like,
feels
this is
awkward.
uncomfortable, like this
Right.
is your private area, like why are you doing that, you're not my mom, you're not
Mm,
my grandma.
mm.
So it started from there, and like he does know what's appropriate and not appropriate. Like, okay, kissing on the cheek, I don't even kiss him on the lips, but that's just a personal thing. I know some parents do that.
No.
No. Yeah, so I know that some parents do it, but I guess it's whatever suits you. I was never comfortable with it.
Mm,
So it's like kisses on the cheek. So he also knows that kissing on the lips is special.
mm.
I purposely do it with my partner in front of him, and he's like, ew. um, but like things like that. So Zach definitely knows what is okay and what's not okay, to a
Mm.
point that he also can see when I am uncomfortable.
Right. And it's important because if you are a young mom or a new mom, for that matter, it's super important to teach your maybe even even a 2 3 year old. You can teach them like, oh, what is considered
Yeah.
good touch, what is considered bad touch, which for me, when my girls were much younger, I did that and say that no one should ever touch these areas. And even when I wash them, I get them to try to do
Wash
it
themselves.
themselves
Yeah.
instead, so that they know that it's not appropriate for anyone to to trust their gut. I keep saying it, especially to young girls: trust your gut, because your body tells you a lot of things. And I say that with a lot of respect because over 56 years of my life, I have learned to, sorry, 55 years of my life, where I learned to trust when I have hives or have stomach ache, it's actually my body trying to tell me that there's something not right. Or if I'm meeting someone and I don't feel, there's something that just not
Mm.
feeling right, and my younger self tend to shut that out, because I'm thinking, oh, I have to please that person and all those things. And I realized that it's so wrong, because your body instinctively have this little neurons and little sensory thing that goes,
Mm.
this is something not right, you got to trust it. And I've learned to really listen to those little sounds, little signs, to say that, oh, maybe maybe I can wait on this, or maybe I can postpone this instead.
Yeah.
I think that's very important, because going back to abortion, is that um, I think a woman's right to choose how we whether we want to have the child or not should be in our hands, and not decided by somebody else. Because we know of women who have died of childbirth. Thankfully, it's not as often as it used to be.
Yeah.
But maybe the mom have issues that they cannot have children, and it's better to not have that. And why in this day and age men are still making those decisions?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that? Why are men still making decisions? And I find this really fascinating, in that even I've come across menopause women, older women, and when it comes to even choosing HRT, or any supplement for their own self, for their own body, they need the confirmation of their husband, or which I
Who
find
doesn't
that,
understand?
who doesn't understand. Yes.
As the younger generation, do I kind of like ask my partner for permission what I do with my
Yeah. Do
body?
you? Do
I
you?
actually don't. I think I do choose what I want to do with my body. I do set my own like limits to certain things. Like in the simplest of ways, like, oh, I'm gonna start this new tablet, this new nutrition. I don't ask for permission, it's more informing.
Mm.
I think the only time that I still talk to my partner is when it comes to prices of things. When
Yeah.
I'm just like, do you think that, okay, I'm going to start doing this, it's going to set us back about this much
Right. Right.
for the next 6 months? Is Do you think this is reasonable? And
Right.
if you're, yeah, and most of the time, as long as it's feasible, like then it's okay. But that's
Mm.
the only time that I really consult him. I do consult him when it comes to interactions, like, oh, I'm feeling this way about this project. What do you think?
Yeah, but that's just
That's
like
a different.
that
That's
normal conversation, to have
yeah,
opinions, right? Which
yeah.
which uh,
I
any
don't
partner.
listen to his. I
Yeah.
think it'd be very weird if I asked him if I was like, "Do you think it's okay if I did this?" He'd be like, "Huh? Like,
Yeah.
you go and do lah."
So, what kind of relationship do you have with your partners? Whether is it like, is your partner deciding things for you, in terms of your finances, in terms of your health? Something that kind of, we're not judging. We're just saying, what is that's what we are experiencing here. Is very different. And for me, having had, I think, 4 rounds of IVF,
Hmm.
and having difficulty to get pregnant and things like that, I don't take abortion lightly, for sure, because through all my treatment, my I had lost a few pregnancies and things like that. So I know that it is traumatic, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And because it is life, and it is, um, um, especially if you abort at a later stage, is after 3 months or 4 months,
You're
if I'm not wrong,
killing
it is considered a form
soul
being
already.
in your body. So that's, you don't want to take that lightly. But also, for those who are listening, and if you are fortunately or unfortunately in a situation that you don't think that being pregnant now is suitable, because financially it will be challenging, or you have no capability to take care of the child, think about the long term. If you're not emotionally ready, please think twice, because it's really not fair to the child to come to no fault of his or her choice, no fault of the baby, to come into the world where they're gonna have this problem whereby maybe he's not loved, he's not cared for. So think twice as to, do you really want to bring this being and actually then be left out in this really cruel bad world that can happen to that baby? So
Yeah.
that worries me a lot, because I think there's so many children already in this world that are abused and malnourished, and there's so much poverty that I cannot believe. I
Yeah.
cannot believe, given that we live in such a modern world where, and yet there's this disparity, where huge disparity, where you have the extreme poor where they're still suffering. I think it's really unfair, and that I feel it with the bottom of my heart, that it's so sad. It's just
It
so
is
sad.
really, really sad. And so if I think it is a choice, and in where we are in this country, there is options for the choice.
Yeah.
Um, the choice to make that choice is also quite expensive. So there is that. But I think that caring for a child, with so many things that have come out recently, like with the whole scandal with the adoption home,
Yeah.
it's not to say that if you have the baby and then you give the baby away, the baby's going to have a better life.
No,
Like,
not
it's not
necessarily.
necessarily
Yeah.
true. Look at all of your options. Think about your conscience. Think about, don't be just so self-righteous, like, oh, I'm going to have the kid and then give the kid away. Like, think about it. Just like really think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And sooner than later, because like Karen said, like after a few months, it's
It
been,
may be too late.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so there are resources and help that can give you guidance. Look for someone that you look up to give you unbiased advice, and chart out what you can do. Because it's not just the 9 months, but after
Whole
your
life.
9 months is your entire life that will be shifted. It's like
Mm.
everything will shift. I think will be the
Shifting.
first to tell you that that is
Constant
so.
shifting.
Yes, exactly. So in saying that, my stand is, abortion or no abortion, it is up to the woman to decide, because today's world, women are smarter, more capable, more able to supported and educated to make the right decision, and there are resources. So I don't think that it should be, fundamentally, it should not be a government, or that is a majority made up by men to decide how and what we should do with our body. So I that's my stand, and
I,
yeah.
I believe in that. I think that you should have a voice in this. So again, think about it yourself. Don't ask for permission.
Yeah, and so in saying that, it is just for fun. Our conversation is just to dissect what is going on in the US, as well as and here.
In your own household.
It could be in your own household, but be aware that there is enough resources, and that there are organizations that can help, and that's something that is really important for those who may be in that situation, to look out for that help, and hopefully make the right decision for yourself.
See you next week.
Okay, bye bye.